we're going to divide the Super Prime Time debate into two parts. First, we're going to talk about this U-turn that the Congress party has done on Vajpayee, that U-turn led by Sanjay Jha, who's on the screen right now. We're going to ask him whether he was speaking for himself or the Congress party. And then we are going to go into the TV attack of Sonia Gandhi, where she's launched a fierce TV attack. That opens up in 10-15 minutes from now, where she says that the BJP is a threat to Bharatiyata. In other words, if the BJP comes to power, Bharatiyata and Hindustaniyat will be over. So it's a big debate, goes up to 10 p.m. Sanjay Jha, good evening and welcome. Firstly, as the national spokesperson of your party and as someone who I presume therefore is supposed to be projecting your party's view, your opinions are at variance with that of your party. Your party respects Vajpayee. Your party on the 11th of April pastes a huge picture of Vajpayee on its website and uses his comments on Raj Dharma to pit him against Modi. On the one hand, you use Vajpayee's comments to corner Modi, and then you criticize the same man whose comments you were using 3 days back. What were you doing, Mr. Jha?
Arnab, let's not compare apples and oranges. I have read what is up on our website and I was fully aware of the fact that it was up there and we had quoted Mr. Vajpayee's Raj Dharma statement. And just to correct your records, I didn't tweet on Sunday evening. I started tweeting this morning at 11 o'clock on Mr. Vajpayee. Now, there is a difference here. My tweets were on Mr. Vajpayee being the weakest prime minister. It is linked to the Raj Dharma statement because what I have read over the last several years, including in media discussions, that Mr. Vajpayee seems to get a lot of credit which the BJP constantly tends to extol for having made a statement of Raj Dharma. Truly, if words were to make a prime minister great, if words make a prime minister, you will make a great prime minister. Maybe some others will who speak very well. But the truth is, Mr. Vajpayee was the prime minister of India when Gujarat was burning. Gujarat burnt for several weeks on end. 1,000 people didn't die or 2,000 people didn't die in 3 days. What was the Indian Prime Minister doing? Who controlled him? And if really is the Raj Dharma was genuinely...
No, but if Mr. Jha, if Vajpayee was the weakest Prime Minister... No, one second. If Vajpayee was the weakest Prime Minister...
That is a feeble leader.
If Vajpayee was the weakest Prime Minister, why would the Congress party use his image and his words to criticize Modi? You've been slamming Modi all along, but your desperation in wanting to corner him was exposed when you used the former NDA Prime Minister's comments to corner Modi on the question of 2002. Your party has praised Vajpayee in the past as the moderate face of the BJP. Let's open up on the other side, Subramaniam Swamy, on this Vajpayee versus Manmohan, right? They clearly feel that this is one area where you have a weak point because Vajpayee didn't act when Gujarat was concerned. On that point, you must concede to Subramaniam Swamy they are correct. Subramaniam Swamy to Sanjay Jha that they are correct.
I don't concede any such thing. I would say that Vajpayee's strength has to be measured by the decisions he took. He took a decision to explode the hydrogen bomb, which Mr. Narasimha Rao chickened out at the last minute in 19... And he faced the sanctions of the United States and brought the country back to recovery and left in 2004 with 8.4% growth rate. Now, that's how you have to measure him.
No, he's talking...
What he did...
Because for 2 days, 3 days continuously, your party has been after Manmohan Singh on the Sanjay Baru issue, including you, by the way, personally. You also have been after the Congress party on the Manmohan Singh issue. Now, when Sanjay Jha tells you that the fact is it cannot be denied, Vajpayee could not assert his authority with respect to Modi. Am I wrong? He could not assert his authority with respect to Modi.
I think...
How is that any different?
I don't know what... I don't know what you wanted Vajpayee to do in Gujarat.
Of course you know.
Modi wanted...
Vajpayee wanted to have Modi replaced.
I have been in government.
Vajpayee wanted to have Modi replaced until it was scuttled by his own partymen. A fact corroborated by Jaswant Singh. How is that any different from Manmohan Singh being overruled by his party?
Please don't change the subject.
I am on the subject.
Stick to a topic.
I am on the subject.
I am telling you that Mr. Vajpayee dispatched the army and there were no weeks and weeks of rioting. There were only 3 days, and in those 3 days there were even Hindus who had to be shot by the police. So where is the question?
No, Dr. Swami,
under control. You have to see.
Dr. Swami, there is a weakest PM barb that Sanjay Jha has thrown at you, right? The barb is that you have the weakest Prime Minister, not we. And like Sanjay Baru's book.
Listen.
Like Sanjay Baru's book. One minute. Like Sanjay Baru's book claims that Manmohan Singh was even willing to resign over the nuclear deal and had even offered to do so. Vajpayee wanted to resign over the Gujarat riots, a fact made public by none other than Jaswant Singh, who you have now thrown out of the party. You see,
I don't know of any such. I don't know any such offer of resigning, and I don't know how do you document it. And you can't just throw it. I would only say the Congress is behaving like a headless chicken. One day they praise Vajpayee, the other day they attack him. We have to go by his policies. You may have any personal differences with Mr. Vajpayee, but you can't go into the question of his actions.
No, but before Sanjay Jha speaks, before Sanjay Jha speaks, can I just put in 2 points, Sanjay? Then you can take me on as well. You don't give the weakest name to a prime minister. Look at all that he did. He took the RSS and the VHP on. When they wanted to build the Ram Mandir, he is the one who put his foot down and said, I will follow what the court says. Anyone, when you talk about taking them on, showed strength. One second, Sanjay, after I finish. Second, when he had the nuclear bomb, when he showed the power, everybody was feeling afraid of the sanctions. It was him that took the world along with us, and not a single country placed any sanctions. In fact, they had strategic alliances with us. That was strength. The question of not signing a deal with Musharraf when he came to Agra because Musharraf wouldn't agree with the term. 1 second.
You must admit. Now you can go into history, but at least make the concession.
All right.
One minute. Just both you and Subramaniam Swami make the concession right now.
One last point.
1 minute. One second. Make a broader concession. You can go into Indian history.
1 second.
1 minute. I am willing to go into modern Indian history post 1947 if you want.
Right.
One second. But make one concession. Accept that now they are giving it to you measure for measure.
Only for...
No, the Congress party is now giving it back to Subramaniam Swami.
One last point and then everybody can come in. When we had the 93 riots in Bombay, who was the Prime Minister? Narasimha Rao. Who was the Chief Minister? Sudhakar Rao Nayak. Who was the Defence Minister? Sharad Pawar. You tell me, was that a weak Prime Minister? Was that a weak government that was taking place? More people died in Bombay than ever in Gujarat. So answer that before you put a barb on someone like Vajpayee, who was a wonderful and a great statesman. Answer that first. Answer that.
What about Nelly massacre in Assam? Mr. Arnab Goswami, you come from Assam. What did Mrs. Gandhi do? For 1 week there was a massacre.
I think one of the best prime ministers.
Is that the only argument that you are now left with?
No.
Subramaniam Swami.
You have used that argument. You have used the Gujarat
what
argument.
What can a prime minister do in a state within 3 days?
1 minute. The question goes, and you answer. Don't try and change the subject, Subramaniam Swami. It can be argued that Vajpayee is perhaps no different than Manmohan Singh in his extreme desire for peace with Pakistan, giving them a long rope like our current Prime Minister Candy Floss diplomacy, from pronouncing in Parliament that India will now have to embark on an Aar-Paar ki ladai, a fight to the finish, to a fresh hand of friendship with Pakistan on April 18, 2003. Sudden U-turn by the Prime Minister after a series of menacing threats against Pakistan beginning in late March 2003. Lahore bus trip followed by Kargil. Kargil followed by Agra. Agra followed by the attack on Parliament. Operation Parakram ended without any outcome. A year later, government entered into a ceasefire agreement with Pakistan. Now what happens is when Sanjay Baru's book comes up and you for 3-4 days go after Manmohan Singh, they're throwing it back at you. I want a substantial and factual response tonight.
First of all,
no.
They are only throwing back on one issue.
You are not debating with me, you're debating with Sanjay Jha. Yes, Sanjay Jha.
Kargil was won by Mr. Vajpayee. Don't forget that.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, Arnab, I'm very amused at how the BJP has sent Mr. Subramaniam Swami for this debate to defend Mr. Vajpayee, because Mr. Vajpayee actually, and it's on record, had contempt for him. And Mr. Subramaniam Swami has been...
No, don't get personal.
No, come on, let's not get personal, Sanjay, please. Let's keep the debate. No, whether he had contempt or not.
What did Mr. Subramaniam Swami say in 1997? 1 minute. Mr. Subramaniam Swamy, 1997, wrote in the 50th year of Indian independence.
Mr.
that he
Vajpayee
said
had
Mr.
contempt for the
Vajpayee should not
Congress.
even
What does that
attend it
happen? Yeah, you
because
can
he was
carry
a
on
police
this. This is
informer
not the
during
debate.
the Quit India movement. 1 minute.
Sanjay, let's
So
say
Mr.
whether
Mr. Swamy,
Vajpayee
Mr.
was a
Swamy
weak Prime Minister
actually
or a strong
is a
Prime Minister.
contradiction,
Let's
a
stick to
bundle of
that.
contradictions on itself. Can I speak? Arnab, who's this gentleman? Arnab, who's this gentleman? I don't know who he is.
This is Sunil Alagh saying let's stick to the subject, which is whether Vajpayee was
All
a
right,
strong or a
fair
weak
enough.
Prime Minister.
The point I want
and
to
don't
make
get
here
personal
is,
with Mr.
the point I
Subramaniam
want to
Swamy or
make
anyone
here
else.
is
That's
that
the only
Mr.
point.
Mr. Yashwant Sinha was appointed as a finance minister on the instructions of the RSS. Mr. Suresh Prabhu was sacked from the cabinet of Mr. Vajpayee.
We are
on the
going to the next
instructions of
debate now.
Shiv
Come on.
Sena.
This is
On
not the issue
Gujarat
of making
riots,
him a
let me
weak.
tell you. On Gujarat riots, let me tell you. On Gujarat riots, let me tell you, Mr. Vajpayee's policy of hunting with the hare and, running with the hare and hunting with the hounds boomeranged on
debate
him
can go on.
because
Okay, now this debate can go on.
The nation
to
will
the
be-
concept of
look,
Hindutva that
Sanjay,
it did not
forget it.
publicly
Sanjay
One of the
Jha,
greatest
Sanjay
Prime
Jha,
Ministers ever was
Sanjay
Vajpayee.
Jha,
which
Sanjay
actually
Jha.
makes Mr.
Sanjay Jha, a lot of our viewers calling in today that we should immediately move to debate number 2, which is on the TV attack, which is topical and important.